can get a 5-year tourist visa online from a computer just like that. It could take less than an hour, and in this video, that's what we're gonna do. This video will be different than some of my other videos because it will be packed with information. We'll be doing less adventuring and more talking about the specifics about how you, if you want to travel to India, could go about getting a 5-year visa in just a few minutes online. Once you do that, you can submit your file and get your visa for India. I get a lot of questions from viewers who want to come to India, but maybe they are overwhelmed by what do they need to do to get here? Or maybe they're wondering, will that work for me? Or maybe like myself, they're wondering like, am I at the right website to get my visa? Or what sort of paperwork do I need? Or is there some sort of scam I'm gonna fall for because I don't really know what I'm doing? So basically, if you watch this video through, you can get a visa right alongside of me, and you could be coming to visit India for the next 5 years. I'm staying in an Airbnb right outside of Delhi in this IT hub called Gugugram. A lot of people are doing a lot of work here. They have some nice restaurants. So before we hop on the computer and show you how to get a visa, let's cover all the different options that are available to you so you know what you're getting into. And so I can get some coffee and a delicious Indian breakfast. Let's go. Of course, there's a lot of reasons you might want to come to India. Maybe it's to stay at a pretty modern neighborhood in this IT hub. Probably more likely to go to some of the historic monuments, maybe a temple, maybe a yoga training. India is so diverse, it has something for everyone, I think. I've loved staying in India for over 3 years now because it's a quiet, peaceful, it can be quiet and peaceful. This place sells tea. Super busy, but let's see if we can get some. I've loved spending over 3.5 years here. It's my second long trip. I stayed through all of COVID, and I had a nice thing going in South India, in Tamil Nadu, had a nice apartment. I used that as my home base as I got to explore a number of states. I'm trying to go to every state in India because I just really like it here. The visa has a lot of benefits too, I think, for travelers like myself. For instance, if I was to go to Bali, I would need to get a new visa every 30 days or every 60 days. Or in Thailand, I think you can only get a starting visa for 30 or 60 days. Then you gotta do this bureaucratic paperwork to get it extended, and it's a real pain. India, we could get a 5-year visa and stay for 180 days at a time, which is helpful. I'm ordering a rickshaw on Uber, 44 rupees to take us to the restaurant. No haggling. 7109. India is also a better place for digital nomads than a lot of people think. The visa is really helpful, not having to do that paperwork. But also, India's internet is improving faster than most every other country in the world. It can be tricky to find a good place with Wi-Fi, but I can show you some tips later in the video. This place looks nice. It is a bit cold though. It's winter time in Delhi, so I'm still getting used to that. I was hoping it'd be nice and hot in India everywhere I go, but that is not the case here. Let's see if we can get a hot beverage and some breakfast. So you actually have plenty of options for getting a visa, and you can be from many, many different countries. So you could get a 30-day visa, 90-day visa, 1-year visa, 5-year visa. This is all online. I have a 10-year visa. If you want to go that route, you can get it, I think, only for Americans or a much more reduced number of countries anyways. have to do that in person. We're not going to cover that in this video because that'll be too much work. I want to show you how you can get a visa on your computer or your phone today. But let's go through and check out some of these prices as well. We can see that you could get a 5-year visa for $80. That is insane. A 5-year visa for Thailand can cost $23,000. In Vietnam, you would need to be a Vietnam citizen or married to someone who's Vietnamese or the child of someone who's Vietnamese. It's pretty difficult. This is one of the best things about an Indian visa. You can get it for a long time. It doesn't cost that much and it's available to so many people. Another good thing about an Indian visa is we get some delicious Indian food. I have me a, what is this? Poti idli. Small version, here we go. I've never had a poti idli like this. Got some delicious looking mint chutney here, some sambar. I like that. I have a fork here. I don't think I've ever eaten idli with a fork. But hey, when in a fork place, eat with a fork. South Indian filter coffee. Well, that was a delicious breakfast. I'm in this park, so I'm gonna walk my way back home where we're gonna get to the visa stuff. This is like the Central Park of Gugugram. People playing badminton, school kids chattering, couples mingling. Finally, some sunshine. It's warming up now. We're back at the workstation where we're gonna go through step by step how you can get a 5-year Indian visa online right now if you want to. I'm also gonna cover things at the end of this video such as common mistakes people make that get their visa rejected and other things that might be helpful if you're coming to India, like a few housing tips, do you need insurance, that type of thing. Now, before we dive in, I do wanna say one special thing. Maybe I made it sound like it was pretty easy to get a visa, and it is when you compare it to getting other visas, because visas could be a pain in the butt. It is what I'm talking about. There are some things, just because I'm an American and I don't know what a surname is. Some of the wording in the site is just, if you don't want to spend an hour of going through this, you could have someone help you out, which is why I'm going to mention now the sponsor of this video, You Delegate. You Delegate is a team of assistants that you can delegate tasks to, such as, can you help me get a visa for India? They would send you a list of documents to prepare and they would take care of the busy work and you could do other things. As I'm traveling, I also use them to research Airbnbs and also tours when I go to a new place. You Delegate isn't just for travelers though. You could also use it if you're a busy professional or family person. Family person, family man, family woman, mom, dad, uncle, auntie. They can handle your shopping, they can handle your online research, they can buy flights. As I'm traveling around here in India, I would rather spend my time going out there and doing some exploring or shooting a video versus figuring out which Airbnb I'm going to live in next.
Spinning around in the Ganges here.
You Delegate sells their tasks in packages, so you can get a package of, say, 40 different tasks. And even if you don't have a ton of money, there's a package for every budget. You can check them out at the link below. If you include the code BenjaminJenks, you can get a free month of their basic or standard membership. And you'll be supporting the channel. I love you. Now, if you want to do it yourself, we can do that too. Let me show you how. Okay, you can start off by searching tourist visa for India. And it is actually this top result right here. And we can see here that it's a 3-step process. We can apply online, submit your documents, and receive your visa. So let's dive in here. We are going to go to regular visa application. We can also complete one that we've already started. We could check our status if we've already submitted it, and we could print it if we needed to. So I'm gonna fill it out as if I were an American because that's what I am. But as you can see, there is a big list of countries here. Choose your country to get started. Now select your passport type. I just have an ordinary passport. My port of arrival. So which airport am I coming into? I came into Delhi's airport this time. My date of birth. I would fill in my email, and you can get notified of your visa by email. Once it's done, you'll get it, and it'll also be in like a PDF form that you can put on your phone and show them, in addition to a paper copy if that's what you want. Let's continue. We have a 30-day visa, a 1-year visa, and a 5-year visa. So let's go with the 5-year. It tells you what activities are permitted or not. We got recreation and sightseeing. We get to select what we're doing, and we are doing some sightseeing. There are other visas which I'm not going to cover in this video, but one's a medical visa. Medical tourism is really popular in India because the medical services are pretty good and pretty cheap. I went to a dentist and got a full cleaning and all that stuff for 40 bucks. I just paid in my rupees and went on my way. A business visa, I have used a business visa during the COVID when the tourist visa was canceled. I applied for a business visa. I was accepted and I came back to India. That was a year long. You don't necessarily need to have a set up business here. If you're exploring the possibility of having a business, that is an option too. Do look into that. Now here we want to do the expected date of arrival. So you would want to do your visa after you already have your flight. And one other thing to mention here is that you can typically get a visa back within a week or so. So you don't need to have it apply for it months and months in advance. If it were me, I would do it about a month in advance. So now it's asking me to submit a recent colored photograph, dimensions 2-inch and 2-inch, size less than 1 megabytes, and then a copy of my passport page containing my personal details. So let me show you how to do that. Just go to a white wall in your house and you can take a photograph with your phone, and then we can crop it on our computer. Okay, this is just the basic photo editor here in a Mac. Just open up the photo and you could go to adjust size. And then we're gonna change this to inches, and what did it say? 2 inches. So let's do 1.8 inches just to make sure we're underneath it and it's nice and small, and then we're gonna save it. Also going to need to take a picture of our passport page. Go to the main page with your photo and take a picture of that page. Now that you have your 2 images, we are going to fill out some more details. So let's do this. Surname exactly as it's in your passport. So your surname is your last name. Your given name is your first name. I think that's right. What is a surname actually? See, this is what I'm talking about. There are some things. Just because I'm an American and I don't know what a surname is. Okay, that's your last name. Got it. Gender. Okay, male, female, transgender. City of your birth. So we're going to put in our citizen national ID number, and that will be your passport number. You can put in your religion, and you notice it doesn't have nothing. If that's your religion, but if you're an American, I would put a Christian. If it were me, I would put Christian instead of others. If maybe I didn't go to church, or I didn't have a organized religion, that's what I would do. I think that's a bit more safe. I'm just trying to do normal answers to not flag anyone. I'm just worried some visa guy's gonna be like, what's this guy, like a devil worshiper or something like that? We don't want that. The essential thing is just make sure you fill out everything with something that looks pretty normal. Visible identification marks, I would just put nothing. Education qualifications, so we're gonna do, I've been to college, so we are going to do matriculation. See, this is what I'm saying, it's a little confusing. Higher secondary, I think that means college. I acquired my nationality by birth, not by moving there. Yes, I've lived there for more than 2 years. Okay, so this is again asking for a passport number, so I would put in my passport again. Now I'm not 100% sure on this. Like, because up here it says citizenship ID number. Oh no, this is your social security number up here. Forget what I said before. Social security number here and passport number down here. Place of issue, it'll say where you got this visa, or excuse me, your passport. Date of issue, it says it in there. Expiration date says it in there. The county, of course, says it in there. Put your passport IC number. See that? I'm not too sure. I would just put the passport in again, following my principle to fill out every field. The main mistake someone will get flagged for and your application will be denied is if you don't fill out a field. So even if you don't know, just fill it out to the best of your ability. Date of issue, place of issue, nationality, we already did that. Okay, so once we fill this out, we can click save and continue. Next page is to share your present address. So I would put in the address where I live in the USA, family details. So here you're going to put in your father and mother's name, their nationality, their place of birth, nationality, place of birth. I would just put in the city. Marital status. There's some questions about being from Pakistan here. If you're not, then you're good. If you are, this is probably not the video to watch because I'm not sure how you might navigate that situation. Present occupation, I put, what do? I don't do a journalist. I'm not a journalist. Self-employed freelancer, that's possible. This is sort of an important question because certain jobs may invite more criticism and they can be like both things, like a business person. See, so I could put a business person or a self-employed freelancer. I would probably I would go with a freelance person myself, or excuse me, a business person myself. Employer name, put in my company that I work for, their address to the best of my knowledge. I don't know what designation means. Maybe that's your job title. Organization. Okay, and so again, you'll just fill out all this info and then we'll click save and continue. We can see that if I needed to exit this, I could save this and exit. If something came up, you could come back to it using that initial option to fill out a partially filled application. But let's continue. So we have our type of visa, which is an e-visa, an online visa, tourist visa for 5 years, places to be visited. So where are you going to the best of your knowledge? I would put, you don't need to be super detailed. I wouldn't sit here for 20 hours and be like, oh, I don't know. I would just put in a few popular destinations that you think you're going to go to. Entries are multiple. You can go in and come out. In fact, you'll need to. You can't stay there for 5 years. It's a 180-day limit. At a time, you can stay 180 days. You can leave and then come back after that period. And there's no specific waiting period you need to stay away. So typically, I would go to Sri Lanka. I would stay a week because I liked it, but you could come right back, and some people do that. Select my exit point when I leave. So when I leave, I'm also going to leave out of Delhi. Have I ever visited India before? If you haven't, you can click no and you have less to fill out. If you have, then quick break. I can only record 15 minutes on this free screen recorder that I'm using. So let's order some tea and a little snack here. What do you guys want? What should we get? Let's get some masala chai for sure. And do we want a vada pav or a chole bhature? Both good options. I'm thinking we want vada pav. Let's get it. Chai will be here in 23 minutes. Let's get back to the visa. Okay, now I'm going to start talking a little faster. Let's get through this. So I was covering, have we ever had our permission to visit India or to extend our stay refused? Now this would be a red flag. Don't click yes, unless you have, but you probably haven't. So click no. Countries visited in the last 10 years, you can input those there. Do be accurate, but do be aware if you put certain countries who maybe India doesn't like, you may be flagged. I've been to Sri Lanka, should be okay, I think. So I would put that in here. Now, we're coming to a place that was confusing for me when I started. Reference name in India. When I first went to India, I'm like, how would I have a reference? I haven't been there. All you gotta do is go to the hotel you're gonna stay at or potentially gonna stay at, Look for the manager's name, put in the manager's name, put in the hotel address, put in the hotel phone number. That is all you got to do. Reference name in the United States, you can put, who's ever in your home country. I think you probably know someone, so you can input someone there. That shouldn't be confused. Looks like we're getting done. Okay. Have you ever been arrested, prosecuted, convicted by a court of law in any country? I'm going to click no. Have you ever been refused entry or deported by any country, including India? That's going to be a no. Have you ever engaged in human trafficking, other bad stuff? I'm going to say no. Basically, if you say yes to any of these things, you might have a hard time getting in there. So say no, unless you've done that, of course. You got to be honest, but I'm going to click my name here and I'm going to click continue. Okay, so here we are going to choose that photograph that we took before, and we're going to make sure that it meets these specs. This is one of the main reasons why your application would be rejected. You just simply don't follow one of these specs. And they are pretty easy to follow. We got our passport picture here. I got my face in the way. Okay, so we have our chosen file. No, it didn't choose. It didn't choose. It didn't select. Only JPEG files. Okay, so let's go back. So this must not be a JPEG for some reason. It's a HEIF, a HEIF file. So, okay, hold on. No matter what kind of computer you have, you should be able to just go into your file here, export it as JPEG. Boom, there we go. Now remember, it needs to be at least 10K. You see it there, so we're going to upload this. Let's read through this. Okay, oops, we made a mistake. It falls below the minimum permissible limit of 350. Okay, so the minimum needs to be 350 pixels. All right, let's try this again here. Okay, we got our HEIF file back at the full size. I just resent it here. We're back in our normal default editor, nothing special. We're going to go to adjust size. Now, what did it say? A minimum of 350 pixels. So let's go to pixels. See, so we got 4,000 pixels. So we need a minimum. Let's do 400. Okay, 18 gigabyte. Maybe that's a little bit small. Let's do 600. Oh, and then we need to export it as a JPEG. Okay, upload the photo. Let's try now. Notice, so we use the white background. That is good. Okay, so it accepted it. That's good. So let's crop it. Put our face right in the center. That's good. Crop and save. There we go. We're going to upload our passport page here. So you're going to do that. And these are the specs. They must be in English. Must be a PDF. A minimum of 10 kilobytes. Maximum of 300 kilobytes. So it should contain your personal details, things like your date of birth, where you're from, and the expiration date. So the main page on your passport. Okay, so you want to make sure that the details in that image are the same as the details you input. See, I have two passports because one is old. It has my actual visa that I got 4 years ago or whatever, and then I have a new one because that one expired. So I wouldn't want to put in my last passport details. I got to put in my updated passport details that I'm taking my photo of. And then finally, just make sure that picture is clear and it's a PDF. Now you're going to upload that. To add, after you choose the file, do make sure you upload the document. Okay, you may face legal action if your info is wrong, so go back through everything, make sure it's right. Once you have done that, come down here to the bottom, verified and continue. Once you do that, you can submit your file, your visa, and get your visa for India. It's chai time. I was skeptical that chai delivered would be any good, but it is, and it's hot. This one's very gingery. Now we're not done with the video yet. Got a couple more things. We also have a vada pav, which also so good. If you've never been to India before, vada pav is like a little hash brown with a pepper. You see that? And a bunch of spices and butter on a bun. It's so chewy and delicious. And it goes really well with the sweet ginger chai. Common questions I get for people first coming to India. 1, how do I find a good place to stay? I've been lucky. I'm getting these notifications. I've been lucky. The first place that I stayed, I paid $167 a month. I stayed there for 3 years, 3.5 years, looking at this beautiful mountain. My notifications are blowing up. Leave me alone. First place I stayed was $167 a month. I stayed there for over 3 years, looking at a beautiful spiritual mountain, 2 bedrooms, kitchen, big windows, wonderful. But it's going to be difficult for you to find that if it's your first time. What you want to do is go to a place like booking.com. You can book a hotel room and you can check a little box that says, I want a place that I can refund it very easily. Most of these places you can refund up until like the day before you're there, or even right a few hours until like it's time to be there. So what you can do is you can find a few places you like. You can buy them like a month in advance. And as you get closer, as you learn more, you can whittle it down to just one that you want to go to. I would always book them places for like 1 week. Then I would go there, stay in a week. During that time, wow, spicy. I would go on Facebook, being a major one, and be like, hey, I'm looking for a place to stay. You'll have these, what are they called? Real estate managers or landlords. They're going to respond to you and they're going to pitch you what they have to offer. So you can look through there and you can get a sense for how much the initial prices are that people are going to be pitching you, because it's going to be a little higher than what you can get it for. You can negotiate, but it'll give you more sense. If you're in a decently touristy place, you could have between 5 and 10 offers right there on places. I also like to look for little signs that say to let. Basically, they want to rent out a room, and you can find great inexpensive places that way. It's going to be more time. Maybe it's not. If you're only going on a short vacation, it's not worth it. But if you're staying longer, it's a great option. That's how I found my spot. Need a little more chai. Now, Airbnb, I also like for different reasons. I'm using Airbnb now because there's more of a guarantee I'm going to have good Wi-Fi. I got a system. I'll book a place for a month and I'll message the guy like, hey, do you have great Wi-Fi? And I'll kind of get a sense for, is this person like a quick messenger? Do they have good customer service? And do they have good Wi-Fi? If they do, then I'll book. Now, I haven't had to request a refund, but I think it'll be more difficult with Airbnb because they also take the money out of your account sooner, which I don't necessarily love. It makes me nervous, but it has been working out for me, and I will use that for like a place like this. This is my $644 per month furnished apartment. Nice big bed, closet, refrigerator, kitchen, bathroom. The most important thing to me, my nice desk area where I can do a little work, watch a little TV, check out the area out there. Another common question is, do you need insurance? And I would recommend insurance if you're first coming to India. I had insurance for a couple years there through World Nomads. Go to their website, fill in your information. You can get a policy very quickly, inexpensively too. I think it was $80 per month. Safety Wing is another option with prices that are a bit lower, a bit less coverage, but still very reasonable and good. I currently don't have insurance because after 2 years, I never needed it. I never went to the hospital. I never did anything. And I started researching hospital price. I'm like, wow, you could go there and the amount of money that I paid for 2 years was up here. And had I needed like a doctor visit, it would have been way down here. So I'm like, I'm gonna risk it. I don't recommend that for you. Whatever your risk tolerance is, go for. My mom and my aunt came, they did get insurance, and it was really helpful because when they were leaving, their flights got canceled because of the pandemic. And because of that insurance, they were able to get some money back. I hope this video was helpful for you if you want a visa. If you want help with it, you do have UDelegate, link in the description. And I'm going to be making more videos here in Gugugram or Gurugram, so stay tuned for those. And I also have some Kolkata videos that I've already shot. They're coming soon.